Welcome back, friends, to another reading for the collective. My name's Ross, and I offer these readings every Tuesday and Thursday. So let's see what is in store today. I'm in the Pittsburgh area. When I was tuning into the energy of the collective today, it seemed to want to stay within the Pittsburgh area. So we'll see. Maybe if you're in the Pittsburgh area, this will resonate for you. But I trust that if it finds you, it's for you. So let's begin, as we always do, with one of the simplest things we can do, the first thing we do when we're born, and that's take some nice breaths together. We'll do 3 inhales through the nose, and you can exhale out through the nose or out through the mouth, whichever is more accessible for you. So breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. And last time, breathing in and breathing out. So let's see what the cards have to say for you today. If you have an intention or a question or something in your life that is requiring guidance, just hold that in your mind while I shuffle these. Let's see, what do the folks at home need to know? What kind of guidance can they be offered to folks tuning in, to folks who have been drawn to this reading? Oh, goodness gracious me. We're going to take all of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're going to take them all because it's December and that's the 12th month. And so 12 seems auspicious. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to see if there is one that wants to come out first. Here's what we'll do. Which card wants to come out first? And I think I'll just do that for the rest of these. Yeah, okay, we'll do that like that. So what I'm doing is I am breathing, I'm closing my eyes, I am breathing in, and I'm bringing all of my awareness to the tips of my fingers, specifically the middle finger, and I'm just looking for pings or tingles or sensations. Trying to focus all of my awareness on that fingertip. And sometimes I'll brush a card, and sometimes I will feel pulled to a card. And that's how I choose. What did I say there were? 12, okay. Do that. Yeah, let's have some fun here. All right, can these all be seen here? No. Okay. All right. So we're going to have some fun with this today. We're going to call this the recent past or current state, and then this is the future. So this is the transmutation. This is where you are now or where you've been recently, and this is where you're going or where you'd like to go. You have not been as receptive as maybe would be beneficial at this time. I hesitate to use judgments here. And as always, with tarot, with any kind of oracle, they are just offering suggestions. So this seems to be a person who has been offered things. The aces are gifts. We can always see this as the hand of God reaching out and offering us something. This is also reminiscent of the disembodied cup being offered to the bored and complacent person in the Four of Cups, but it was reversed. And so when a card is reversed, we can think of that energy as blocked or something is preventing it from coming through. And with cups being the symbol of water and dealing with emotions and passivity, not in the sense of laziness, but in the sense of resting and receiving, this strikes me as someone who has been ignoring that inner guidance to rest and do less. And I mean, who can blame you? It's the holidays here uh, in America, and everything about this season, while on the one hand is promoting love and truth and all those warm, gushy Hallmark feelings, on the other side, the ugly side, is the capitalistic hamster wheel that says you got to buy the latest Labubu for your boo, otherwise they won't love you. Um, so it's understandable. Oh, Knight of Cups reversed, and very interesting here. Now, like I was saying, the cups are about emotions, they're about creativity. And of all the court cards, the Knight of Cups has the least amount of water. They have become fixated on the action of the knight, uh, the knight card. Knights are a card of action. And like I was saying, water and emotions and passivity and femininity, not in any kind of gendered sense, but just in the kind of energetic sense, they are strong in their non-action, their non-doing. So for a knight, this is a very tricky place to be. And we can see this represented by the parched stream that is flowing behind him. Now, it was reversed though. So yeah, that just strikes me as someone who is trying to effort their way into something when they really need to just relax. And there's a great talk or a great phrase from Abraham Hicks, and they are talking about how everything you want is waiting for you downstream, but because of the ego or capitalism or conditioning, choose your own adventure. We think that in order to get downstream, we have to paddle. And what that paddling is actually doing is pointing us upstream away from what we want. And if we are able to, and it is a challenge, if we are able to let go of the oars, let the boat reorient itself, it will naturally carry us to where we need to be. It might not be as swift as we would like it to be. We see the wings on the knight's head and feet, but we will eventually get there. And I've said this before in other readings, whatever it is your heart desires is waiting for you. If you can conceptualize it, if this is something that has been with you since you can remember, then it is destined for you. It is fated for you. The only choice you have is to prolong its arrival or relax into that knowing that it is for you. and it is waiting for you. This one has come up a lot. And yeah, if we are if we're ignoring our emotions or pushing them down or maybe even intellectualizing them, then we can be having a bad time like this character in the card. But like I have always said with this card, this character is literally draped in the heavens and the earth. So this card comes as probably how you've spent a lot of the recent past or how you feel right now, overwhelmed, in the head. And I'm just trying to think of any astrology that might back this up. We did just have Mercury retrograde. It did just station direct, but I feel like there's another, like, is Saturn in retrograde or Uranus is in retrograde or about to go in retrograde. There's a lot happening up there. So it makes sense that there will be a lot happening up here as well. And yeah, just that idea of bypassing the emotions and getting into the thinking, a very yang thing to do, a very yang characteristic. Swords represent the air element and truth, and it is a very yang instrument. Ooh, now some people are scared when they see the tower, and with good reason. But for me, and with what we're seeing here, this seems to be the natural conclusion of what's been presented when we are shut off from our emotions, when we are caught up in our head. Eventually, something has to give. And I see this, and it'll be interesting to see what the rest of the cards say. I see this as a collapse of that kind of wall or barricade that you've put up against your emotions, your feelings, your intuition, even. But that collapse, that crumble, that leads us to that inner peace, that thing that's downstream waiting for you. Knight of Pentacles reversed. So, like I said, knights are a card of action, and the Pentacles knight is the book that I have, and maybe it is Waite who describes this as a slow horse, a heavy horse. And there is a heaviness to this card, there is a stillness to this card, and Pentacles represent the earth element, that grounded stillness, but they also represent the material in the sense of the earth, but also the material in the sense of money and things that you can buy, that sort of thing. It was reversed though. So the fact that this comes right after the tower, it's kind of suggesting that idea of, all right, I'm not going to do what I've done, or I'm going to shift the way that I'm being, but is this really the right way to do this? Am I really going to get everything I want? Am I really going to get my material desires by being still? Isn't there some action I can take? Maybe the action is just the stillness. Maybe the action is that choice to be still and wait and listen and take that question inward to your inner guidance. Excuse me, confirmation burp. The Emperor reversed. And yeah, the Emperor is an archetype all about society, and it can represent fathers, and with the knights, that also might be a masculine influence. Doesn't necessarily have to be. It could be a brother, a friend, something like that. Could be the father for the Emperor. It was reversed though, and just with what we've seen so far, this seems to be a complete, a complete rehaul and reevaluation of what you consider society to be, or what you consider your role in society to be. It's a lot of confusion. It's a lot of, yeah, it's a lot of confusion. It's a lot of tumult. And it's totally understandable if you're feeling all kinds of things, undescribable things, indescribable, whichever word that is. So that might be where you've been recently or where you are right now. And if that is where you find yourself as you tune into this, then I want you to know that it can't rain all the time. There is always a release from that pressure valve. So let's see what a possible outcome, a possible future, near future might be for you. Satisfaction. It's like that story of the coal miners, or maybe they were just miners who they went out to California. They got all this gear because there was gold in the Dar Hills, and they were digging and they were digging for months and months, and they didn't find anything. And they had used their life savings to get all of this equipment and move to California. And they spent all this time doing this work and they didn't find anything. And so they got fed up. They left their equipment there and they went back home, I think. Uh, and then someone else came in, found the equipment, started digging, and within 3 feet, they found gold. So I feel like this was you right on that precipice of this, of the satisfaction, of all of the accomplishments stacked up behind you and you feeling proud about it. And you should, because this shit is hard. Pardon my language. It is not easy being a human in the dying, wheezing beast of late stage capitalism. It is not easy being a human with a dysregulated nervous system, and everything in society is kind of maybe unintentionally designed to dysregulate our nervous system, or certainly keep us grabbing for our phones, our computers, some kind of way to distract. So if you are drawn to this video and you are the kind of person who is doing this inner work, then chapeau, finger snaps for you. It's not easy, and the reward isn't often something that's outwardly seen. It's often an inner expression. And I can't think of a better card after these two reversed cups, after this whole first line, actually, of satisfaction. Yeah, getting through it all. So that's a good start to this second line. Let's see what else. You've risen above it. You've risen above the fighting. You've risen above the comparison, the hmm, maybe even the people pleasing that's wanting to come through, and you've decided to maybe channel that energy into something else. This is the first, yeah, this is the first wand card we see. This is also yang energy, like the sword, but this represents fire, and it deals with eagerness, impetuousness, and yeah, this is a person who has decided that they aren't going to be down below trying to knock someone else off the high ground. They realize that where they are is just where they need to be. And that has allowed you to tap into your emotions in a very kingly way. Now, I do want to say something about this card here, and it's very fun. The character, the king here, has this fish ornament pendant hung around his neck, and there's also a fish in the background jumping around. He is in the water, but he's on his stone throne. So he has been able to get in touch with his emotions much more than the knight, especially a reverse knight. And we can see here the comparison between the amount of water flowing, the amount of creativity, passivity flowing. But there's still this solid ground that keeps him anchored. The caveat or the warning that might come with this card is don't lose yourself in the symbols of society, that you lose sight of the magic of reality. This is a character who has a fish pendant, but is completely unaware of the fish behind him. So this seems to be like, okay, I have found a new way to be in society, but don't get caught up in all of the ways that it has been before. Allow yourself to create a new kingdom, a kingdom of your own emotions or a kingdom of your own offering. Six of Pentacles, but reversed. And this is a challenging card. It doesn't seem like a challenging card at the outset, but there's a lot that is to be said about this. But what do I want to say about it, or what needs to come through? Hmm. What is blocking this energy? I think this will just reinforce the idea of what I was saying about not letting yourself become a victim of your new position. Rachel Pollack's book describes this character as someone disguised as a merchant. It doesn't say who they are, and it talks about how this person is giving out to these beggars what he thinks they need. So, with it reversed, maybe it is allowing yourself to name your needs. And I think that's all I want to say about that. Ten of Wands, this one often comes up for me. And this is a character who is weighed down by all the choices around them. And you can see their back is hunched, and there is the invitation to put down some wands. What is it that you're carrying that you no longer need to carry? Maybe it is something from the first line. Maybe it is something from the recent past that you're still carrying or holding on to, thinking that you need it. And maybe it's something new within the societal place that you found yourself that you don't really jive with. And I feel like there's going to be something to be said about the Six of Pentacles here and the Ten of Wands with regards to the idea of begging and giving only what you think you need. And maybe it's just that. Maybe you've picked up modalities or skills thinking, oh, just one more certification and I'll be ready to launch my thing. One more class, one more degree, and I'll be able to be taken seriously. And that's not to discredit education or anything like that, but whatever is ready to be birthed from you is going to come regardless of the degrees or the certifications. So you can put down that searching, that grasping for it, and just allow it to be. Queen of Wands, reversed. So this is a character. This strikes me as someone who has gotten in touch with the more feminine, creative sides. Queens represent that. And it doesn't have to be necessarily a woman. You might be a woman if you're watching this, but it doesn't have to be. It's just that idea of allowing that creativity to come in. And of course, the wands represent fire, that eagerness, and there's no other queens. But of all the queens, she's the only one sat with her legs kind of spread, which represents sexual creativity, that sexual energy, and that is maybe one of the things that is blocked. So let me just take a moment here and look and see what we got and see if anything else jumps out. You've had a hard go of it. It's been a dark night of the soul. And looking at this now, it's maybe even that loss of friends and family, and the idea of when you choose to focus on your own inner gifts and your inner strength, that you tend to lose those things. It doesn't mean they're bad or wrong or that you're right or good. It's just that you're following different drummers' beats. So, again, if that was where you were recently, then I am sorry. That's a tough place to be. But if you're able to go through that, then this is an optional outcome. And yeah, now just looking at it, because we had four reversals out of six in the top, and then we have two reversals out of six down here. This just seems to be like the energy of the old life still being here. And that's not necessarily bad or wrong. It's just that idea of spirals, of things keep coming around, like the Wheel of Fortune, that we keep coming back to these moments to see if we've grown, if we're still triggered, or if we're able to move beyond with the lesson that was given. So these were a lot of cards today. I would still like to end with the wisdom of Hafiz to kind of summarize all of this, mostly because it's usually a great way to do it. It's never been off, and also because these cards are gorgeous. So, what is a way to summarize this reading for the folks today? What's something maybe that I missed? What's something that they missed? What's something that was missed in these cards? What wants to come out? Was it you? Let's see if anything else wants to come out, because these cards feel eager today. And there we go. Okay. I'm giggling because first one we got here, 20, have patience. 20th is around the solstice time, so maybe what you've been working for will coalesce by then. And then we've got 34, take the opportunity. So let's see what these have to say. Have patience. The moon, asked about her luminosity, said, I am a master of patience. It will happen. Perhaps not exactly as you imagined it, perhaps far better, but it will happen. Have patience during the in between when you can't see the results of your hard work and diligent investments. There are forces moving on your behalf far beyond the realms of sight. Trust them. They are bringing you precisely with divine timing what you need to bring your soul into the fullest expression of itself. And I feel like that one perfectly represents this first line that we had here. Cute. And then 34, take the opportunity. Every moment, the earth's amorous body says, make love to me. And the sky says that too. Gosh, what are we waiting for? Opportunity comes knocking. Your job is to open the door and discover the adventure that awaits beyond it. The sun and sky seek your yes, and the world will change because of the risks you take. You are a creator, and you came here to explore the possibilities. Even if it doesn't turn out exactly as planned, this is a game changing moment. Seize it. And yeah, just to add on to that, it's this idea of not worrying about what it might have looked like in the past or what the past is still coming in. You still have been given an opportunity here to take what you've been through and rise above it. And I think that's really all we can say. This one went a little bit longer than usual because we had so many cards, but someone needed to hear this. And I am grateful for your time being here today. I'm grateful for the views, the likes, the shares, the subscribes, all that fun stuff. So if this was for you, make sure you leave a comment down below about what resonated. And if this wasn't for you, 13 3113, as I was saying, that might be relevant for someone. If this wasn't for you, share it with someone who you think might benefit from it. I'll be back next Tuesday with a reading. And until then, I wish you nothing but peace, love, and happiness going forward. Take care.